Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you the various parts of an industrial sewing machine. If you're new to this channel, thank you so much for stopping by. If you're an OG, you're welcome. So if you have any question, do not forget to leave it at the comment section. Without further ado, we'll just go straight into showing you the various parts of an industrial sewing machine. So the machine that I have here is the ML High Technology EM81 sewing machine. It's an industrial sewing machine that uses electric, and if you also have a very good inverter, you can also use this as well. But before you use any form of electricity to power your industrial sewing machine, make sure you have a guard, a surge protection, so that your machine, the engine, don't get spoiled on time. By a surge, what do I mean? This is an example of a surge that I am talking about. The surge helps to protect the industrial machine engine from exploding, from spoil, from catching fire, if there's any English like that. Irrespective of your own kind of sewing machine, whether the ML2 Lion, Singer, Brother, whatever you have, the similarities are there. There's not much of a difference as far as it's a direct drive. This one is a direct drive, so there's no motor under like the older version that we have. So it doesn't have the motor under like the ones we are used to in the past, and this also makes sewing generally easier because it has some enhanced features on this. So I'll just bring my camera closer so that you guys can see the feature that I have. This is the sewing machine head. This is the main part of the machine, and then this is the table. So when you go to the market to buy an industrial sewing machine, you'll be getting two boxes. One contains the sewing machine head, which is this whole part of the sewing machine, and then the table, the one that has this flat surface and the legs and everything. Then you're going to, they'll give you like a professional who will come to set this up for you, because trust me, as a beginner, you probably don't know how to set this up. So when I got mine, I had to get a sewing machine engineer who came to set this up for me. So as against the motor, I'll be showing you what the direct drive machine has. So this is what the direct drive have in place of the motor. This is how the under looks like. So let's go over what we have on the machine head. Right here we have the screen. So I've had this machine for like 8 months now, and I still have the leather covering the screen here. So also this is the hand wheel for you to pick out your thread. Like if you do not need to use your leg pedal, you can use this hand wheel. So once you're using it, the needle goes in and out. So it contains the needle bar. It makes it go up and down, as you can see here. And this is the stitch length guide. Controls the stitch from 0 here to 5. It depends on the stitch length you want. For me, it is on 5 right now, as you can see. This red here is on 5, so my stitch is on 5. In order to get full control of this, you have to roll this like this, 5. Keep rolling it. You know, although it's a bit stiff, so but when you roll it, it responds. And then if you want to reverse your stitch, all you need to do is to press this down. Like when you're sewing, you press this down and then it reverses your stitch. And then if you want to keep reversing, you just press it down and then the stitch keeps reversing. Once you leave it like this, the reverse stitch stops. So this is what you use to guide the reverse stitch. So this is the tension dial, where you control the tension of the thread that you use to pass through it. If you tighten it, the tension will become tighter, and then once you loosen it, it becomes freer. So this is the pressure of the needle bar. If you're working with a thick fabric, you have to press it down. So but most times when you're not using a thick fabric, a lighter one, you can also reduce the pressure. Your needle do not have to have so much pressure on it. So this is what you use to pressure your needle. So there's another transparent part here. This helps you see the level of your oil. If your oil is optimal, you're going to see it flashing through this transparent part here. But if you're no longer seeing it here, it means that your oil is no longer optimal and you will need to refill. So this is the foot of the sewing machine and also the feet belt. So once you open it like this, I usually put my hand under and then lift it like this. This is it. So you put it back in. Then from the back here, there's another part here that helps you pull up the machine feet, the machine foot. Once you lift it up like this, your machine feet goes up. And once you bring it down, it goes down. Once you pick it up, it goes up, bring it down. And then here is also the power button for your machine. Once you click on off here, once you click on off, everything goes off. Can you see off on the screen? And then once you put on here, it comes down. It comes back on like this. And just so you know, there's another button here where you can use to push up your machine foot. Once you pull it out like this, the machine foot goes up, and once you bring it down like this, it goes down. So it's advisable to use this often, because when you're sewing like this, when your feet is like this and you're sewing, you can easily, you know, use your leg to lift it up like this. Once you lift it up, this goes up and then it comes back down. And there's another part here where you can put your thread. This is the thread pan, and it also has this rod here where you can use to guide your thread to your sewing machine. So you put your threads here, and then you pass it through the rod here, and you direct it to your sewing machine, connect it, and this is the function of this rod and this thread pan over there. So this is another part here where you can easily put your thread here, but I usually don't even use this because I have an organizer here over here where I put all of those tiny things that I feel they can get missing. But if you're sewing regularly, you can just put in some of your bobbins here in different colors, and your chalk and your pins over here. This helps you get access to them easily. So for the needle, our machine used the DB variant needle for our industrial sewing machine. Do not forget that each of the machine comes with this rod here where you can easily use to loosen your needle here. So this long screw is not like the manual sewing machine. This one you can just use it here to loosen it. So once you loosen it, I don't think I want to loosen it, but this is what you're going to use to loosen or to unscrew your needle and then put it back in if you want to put it. So I will not be removing my needle here because I don't need to, but if you want, for any reason you want to put or remove your needle, you just use this long screw here to loosen it, and then you put your needle and then you tighten it back. It's as easy as that. So this is the feed belt. This helps control the fabric when you're sewing, and then we have some measurements here so that you can easily, you know, keep measuring while you are sewing. As easy as that. They have made it so easy. Okay, so to control the speed of this sewing machine, so we have the program, we have the speed. So if you want to control the speed, you click on the speed here, and then you keep increasing it here. It increases by 100. It has 16, 17, 18. That will determine how fast the machine would sew. Or you bring it down to 1, 2, 1, 1, like that, 1, 2, 1, 1, but it increases or decreases by 100. So the speed of this, the lowest is 200, which is very slow, and then the highest is 3700. So usually I'm between 1000 to 11 or 14, it depends. So for the program, we have program 1, program 2, program 3, but I'll just leave it at program 1. If you want more information, you can also read the manual of the sewing machine. So this one tells you the position of the needle. Once you click it, it's going to show you position of the needle. So once you're done with all your setting, what you need to do now is to go ahead to just step on your pedal. You don't need to apply too much pressure on this. So a little pressure. Can you hear the sound? Can you hear that sound? It's just a little pressure. Just a little pressure. So once you increase the pressure, it keeps increasing. And also on this machine, if you just want your needle to go in and out once, or go in and out, you can just press this place like this, like this, and then it keeps sewing. Instead of using your leg, you can just use this. So for this oil of the sewing machine, it is advisable to change it every 3 to 6 months, but it depends on the intensity of the usage of the sewing machine. If you're using it frequently for industrial sewing, then you should change it more often. So in order to change the oil of the sewing machine, this is what you need to do. Put it up first, and there's usually a stand at the back of the sewing machine here, this one at the back of the sewing machine, which helps the head once you pull it backward. So what you're going to do is to just push the machine backward like this and let it rest on that head there like this. So once it's resting, this is what the inside looks like. You have oil that is clean and also sufficient. The oil level is still optimal for this sewing machine. So if you look closely inside, you see that there's a place called high and low. So here is a filter that kind of filter the oil. See, so the oil just goes through here. It has a filter so that it doesn't soak up debris. Okay, it just goes through here. So this thread is here for a purpose. Make sure it is touching the oil. Please do not cut it. Make sure it is here. It soaks up oil that helps to go you know, I don't know, but it's here for a purpose. Do not cut it. That's how to check your oil. So at the end of every project, please, it is recommended to clean up your sewing machine. Okay, make sure you clean. This includes all of this table, this part of the table, the sewing machine head, everywhere. Just make sure you clean, because it will make your machine last longer. So if you want to also thoroughly clean your machine, you can also remove this using your screw. You can use this screw here to loosen up. I usually avoid loosening this as frequent as possible, but if you need to really clean in detail, you can loosen this up, and then this will help you clean. And if you're like me, who wants to ensure that your sewing machine is at the best function all the time, after each project, you can go ahead to cover it with this dust wrap that came with the machine. I'll just show you what that looks like. This is it. You can just go ahead to cover it at the end of every project if you want your machine to last longer, so all the dust is going to fall on this wrap instead of on your sewing machine. And also note that your industrial sewing machine, especially the direct drive, uses less power than the motor one, the older version. This consumes less power. You can use an inverter right now, yes, for this sewing machine, less light for this sewing machine, which is a good thing. And it also comes with some advanced feature like that, which the older version do not have, which also makes sewing very interesting and very fast. So with this, we have come to the end of this video. Watch out for the part 2 of this video, which is how to trade an industrial sewing machine. If you have any question, leave it in the comment section. I'll be there reading every of your comments, and I'll be more than happy to come respond to your messages. Do well to like, subscribe, and share this video with your family and friends. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye bye.